Rotten Tomatoes sucks, and that's not an unpopular opinion. This opinion is shared by a lot of people nowadays who think that Rotten Tomatoes give bad scores and that their scores just plain out sucks. And that goes for a lot of other critic sites that have been getting pushback by many fans for the bad scores and reviews. But today, I kind of want to focus on Rotten Tomatoes because it is, after all, the biggest critic site on the internet. So there must be fans of this site, or at least people who actively use this site on a daily basis. Now, if you don't know how Rotten Tomatoes decides their scores, it's pretty much a melting pot of different critics' opinions to a single score. And that's where the first issue starts. Critics are human. They like certain genres and they don't like certain other genres. So if you're John who likes sci-fi movies and just watched Star Wars, he's obviously going to rate it higher than Emily who just watched Star Wars but usually like spy movies. And not to mention, these critics are just trying to get clicks to their own site, so they don't care on how their scores affect the total number of the final Rotten Tomatoes score. But more importantly, the average Timmy, who also likes sci-fi and wants to know if the new Star Wars is good, has to be stuck with a lower score because of these differing opinions and preferences. Now, if a melting pot of opinions is a good or bad thing, that's kind of up to you to decide. It's everyone's preferences. But what sucks is that the average Timmy doesn't know that some people consider certain movies actually good because what he sees at the end of the day is the final score. And to him, that's the end all be all. Because I can guarantee you that most people who are watching this video have never or rarely ever checked the individual critic score. And I know sometimes the scores can be really good and the critics can get it right. And I know why Rotten Tomatoes is so popular because people don't want to waste their time watching a 2-hour movie that isn't good. Unlike other art forms that you can just look at or you can listen to for 2 minutes, movies and TV shows take up a lot of your time. So the average person just wants to see a score real quick and not have to see a whole review article or a video breaking down a movie. But with all that aside, I think the biggest problem with Rotten Tomatoes, even though the scores can be bad sometimes, is the audience that is reacting to these scores. Every time a new movie comes out, everyone is quick to bash on a score and see what the audience score is, which I think the audience score has done much worse for reviews than any other critic score can. And yes, there are some times when the audiences show a better representation of the movie with their own score, but sometimes, even though it sounds like a bad thing, sometimes it's better to leave it to the professionals. And sometimes the audience score can be inflated by fans of the franchise or fans of the characters who don't want to see their favorite characters or franchises have a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, so they inflate the numbers to make it seem like this movie is a little bit better than it actually is. So when people see something get a high score that they personally don't like or a big community of people don't like, they're very quick to review bomb it, even if it's not that bad of a movie. And that also goes for the other side of the coin for movies they do like, where some communities love a certain director or love a certain franchise, where they'll boost up the audience score to make it seem better than it actually is. So the audience and the audience score is sometimes way too polarizing on their own opinions and what they deem is a good score and a bad score, which results into people giving way too high of scores and calling movies a masterpiece, and if it isn't given 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, then it's not properly rated. And the same thing goes for movies with a low score. I think a perfect example of this was The Last Jedi movie. It was loved by the critics and hated by a lot of fans. And I personally don't think it deserves a 40% as an audience score. I think it's a fine movie. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say it is, but I also don't think it's a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. But people want to give bad scores to movies that personally didn't live up to their expectations, which is a pretty bad mindset to leave a score on. You should rate a movie on its own merits rather than the expectations that a lot of people had going into it, because it can blindside you to how actually good or bad the movie actually is. I think another big problem with audiences looking at these scores is when people compare scores between movies, which is a pretty bad way to look at scores. When someone says this score is higher than this score, then that must mean this movie is better than this movie. When actuality, when these ratings are given, people are not thinking about their past ratings, they are only rating the movie that is currently in front of them. I'm pretty sure when the critics gave Black Panther a 96%, they weren't thinking, well, we give The Dark Knight a 94%, so we have to give Black Panther a 96% because it's better than The Dark Knight. The critics are not thinking like that. What happened is that they gave a good score and went about with their day, and they didn't think about how Black Panther would end up with a higher score than The Dark Knight. They were just rating Black Panther in a vacuum. So even though the score can be bad on Rotten Tomatoes, I think the fault is also shared with the audience for being so stuck up on the score that it blinds them for the reason why Rotten Tomatoes was created, was to see all these critics' individual reviews into one site. If you just scroll down, you can see all these people summarize thoughts in a couple sentences, but no one does that. They see a number and that's how they define what a good movie is. When a movie is so much more than that. It is an art form, just like a painting or a song. So a number can never truly tell you how much emotion you can feel when you see a tragic character story. A number can never truly tell you how much hype you can feel when you see your favorite character on screen. A number can never truly tell you how amazing animation is. A number can never tell you how amazing it is to see the main character finally overcome the main villain. A number can never tell you how amazing it is to see the main character finally do the impossible. A number can never tell you how much laughs you can get from a movie, or how much fun you can have in a movie. A number can never tell you how much a movie can make you cry. A number can never tell you how horrified, or terrified, or scared a movie makes you feel. A number can never tell you how amazing the atmosphere of a movie is. A number can never tell you how inspired it makes you feel after watching it. A number can never tell you how hopeless a movie can make you feel. And a number can never tell you how much a movie can change you just by watching it. So next time when you want to watch a movie, just know no score can truly tell you how you will feel when you watch a great movie. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on Rotten Tomatoes down in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe because 99% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So don't be that 99%. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later, Peace.